What's up, Planeswalkers? 6, back with some Neon Dynasty spoilers. I'm recording this live on Twitch to see how it works, how the fidelity holds up and whatnot. As usual, when I'm recording directly from the Twitch thing, I can't do all of the cool intros and stuff because I don't edit my videos. All of that is done in OBS. So, be sure to check out any of my sponsors, Grizzly Gentleman. I've misplaced my beard oil. Oh, there it is. Grizzly Gentleman, check them out. Obviously, check out Flipside Gaming. Get some cool deck boxes and stuff there. Go over to my Aether Hub, where I have all my decks. If you click on my affiliate link there, it'll send you to TCG Player, where whenever you buy stuff, I get a little bit of the throwback. Gosh, who am I? Oh, Your Playmat. I'm also sponsored by Your Playmat. I currently don't have a graphic for them, but I will. And I think I have. I might not have a thing on Twitch yet, but I'm gonna add it. But you can find all of my sponsor stuff and Linktree. If you are watching, well, you're gonna be watching this on YouTube because I'll be uploading it there. You should head over to my Twitch stream, hello, and you can subscribe there, and it'll be great. It'll help me out a lot. Anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna start talking about Neo spoilers. And if anyone says something in the chat, I'm gonna respond to them. But you're not gonna be able to see it because I haven't set up the Twitch chat being on the screen. So, bite me, I'm professional. Anyway. Also, I may have talked about these cards already, just because once the full set gets dumped, Scryfall just does not put things in good order. Anyway, in the preview order. Blossom Prancer, 5-mana 4/4 Spirit, reach Y. Oh, I think we talked about this already because I was confused why it's not an elk. All right, goodbye. Stupid card, it's not an elk. Mech Hanger. Land. You tap to add a colorless, add mana any color, spend this mana only cast a pilot or vehicle, and then pay 3, tap it, target vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. So I really like this card. And the reason I really like this card is it's mech anime. But 2, right? You can just spend 4 mana to crew a vehicle. Any vehicle. Even if its crew cost is 7? You just don't care. It's any vehicle you have is I'm a pilot my vehicle. I will say they did make a change to vehicle rules. Vehicles can no longer pilot themselves, which makes sense. It's not going to come up very frequently where you can exploit that, but that is something that people should know. You can no longer crew your own vehicles with themselves. Now, if you have 2, trying to think of a new vehicle. I can't think of any new vehicles. Whatever, you have 2 mech suits with the same name, you can still they can. If you pilot one, the one can pilot the other, even though they have the same name, because they're not the same card. Okay. This isn't going to help those who are already calling it Kamigawa Neon Evangelion. I mean, it is, and I'm here for it. I've never seen Neon Genesis Evangelion, but I'm fine with that. Because this is sick. Also, I mean, the opening, the angel thing, I don't remember the name of it, is sick. It's great. Absolutely fantastic music. Mech Hanger is awesome. I don't know what you want me to say. Roaring Earth. 2 mana enchantment whenever land on the battlefield under your control. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. Interesting. Channel X green discard it. Put X 1/1 counters on target land you control. It becomes a 0/0 green spirit creature with haste. It's still land. So the thing I really like about these channel cards is you have to remember this is an activated ability from your hand. It's like a hand trap from Yu-Gi-Oh! What you can do is you can channel this, and your opponent can't counter it, unless, of course, they have something like Trick Bind or whatever. But this essentially is an uncounterable combat trick. It can also be used just kind of like the 4-mana tree from Crimson Vow. That's kind of just not terrible, because it starts out as an enchantment, and then once you reach a certain threshold, it becomes a tree. This is a little bit different. You can cast it a little earlier, and then this can start buffing your guys. I just generally, I like this card in Limited, because early game, you can get it down, you can start making your team bigger than your opponent's team, and then late game, if you draw this, after you have, no land drops left, you can just out of nowhere, do a massive block, or mess with them, they attack you, you're it's fine, I'll block here, I'll go down to a really low life, and then, bada bing, bada boom, I'm gonna cast this, animate a land, and murder you, because you didn't think you were dead on the crackback. Hey, look, landfall, except not, because keywords are poopy. And I think it's fine. Channel, the thing is, landfall is the same as channel, right? We have cards that mana value, discard, do something, but we don't call them channel because this is just flavor, right? It just adds a little bit. The landfall thing doesn't matter too much. In fact, are there any cards that directly reference specifically landfall? I'm not sure that there are. I put I, not O. So these are all the cards that have landfall on them, but I'm looking for something that cares about you landfalling. Like, specifically landfall. Because it doesn't look like there are. Yeah, these are all just cards that have landfall. None of them care about landfall triggering. So I have no issue with this because landfall isn't a thing. It's not a keyword, it's an ability word. It doesn't mean anything. There's nothing inherent about this. Look up Ancient Green Warden, for example, of how they texted it. No, I understand what you're saying. Right. You guys might not understand what I'm saying. Oh, you got hard? Nice, Gatlin Laser. So yeah, we have Green Warden here. You may play lands. If a land entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers additional time. This does not care about landfall. Nowhere on here does it say if a land entering the battlefield triggers a landfall ability you control, it triggers an additional time. That's what I'm saying. Landfall does not matter. Someone's dumb enough to hire me, lol. Nah, it's fine. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Is that landfall, the word, does not inherently matter. It's just flavor. It's just you sprinkle a little bit of flavor on there, and that's it. Like this card doesn't need to have landfall on it. Like you can pretend it has landfall on it because mechanically it doesn't matter. 16 hour and as much OT as I want. Nice. I like the card. I do not know how to say this. Kotose? The Silent Spider. Excuse me, she's a human. 5 mana for a 4/4 legendary creature human ninja. When she enters the battlefield, exile target creature card in an opponent's graveyard other than a basic land card. Search that player's library, hand, or graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as the card and exile them. Then that player shuffles for as long as you control, blah, blah, blah. You may play one of those exiled cards, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. Interesting. So with this card, this card is weird. Kotose. Okay. This card is weird because she's a ninja without ninjutsu, but you want to ninjutsu this card. You also want to bounce this card with other ninjutsu abilities, right? Because she doesn't work on hitting your opponent in the face like a lot of other ninjas. She works by entering the battlefield. So you have to cast her to get the trigger, and then you have to control her to cast the card. Right? So essentially, you're forced to use that mana, like the following turn, essentially, because what you're going to want to do is, as soon as possible, put her back into your hand with, I guess, a ninjutsu effect. But she doesn't have evasion, right? Like, she's just a 5 mana 4/4. Like, this card just feels bad. Because, like, it doesn't work with ninjas. It doesn't work with ninjutsu, right? Because most of the other ninjas care about, well, I mean, some of them in the set do actually care about ETBs, but they have ninjutsu. I think this card should have ninjutsu. Even if it was like ninjutsu 6, right? Just the fact that she comes in and it requires your opponent to already have a card in the grave, a non-land card in the grave, obviously, or I guess a non-basic land card in the grave, that you already want to take. You do get to play a land if you want. You can only play one of those exiled cards, so it's not like you can take all of the stuff. Am I wrong? I'm fairly certain this is just bad. It doesn't work with ninjas. It just doesn't work with ninjas. So, because it doesn't work with ninjas, I think this card's just like bait. It doesn't have evasion, so your opponent's going to block it every time. As a 5-mana 4/4, it dies to a ton, and it doesn't have ninjutsu itself. Like, you have to hardcast this and then wait to attack to put it back in your hand, and you have to cast the thing before you put it back because they're linked. It's not like for as long as you control a card named Katosu the Silent Spider. It's as long as you control this. Like, whenever you see a card reference its own name, it's saying whenever you control this exact entity. So for that, I'm out. Oops. Mind Link Mech is a blue 4/3 artifact vehicle. It's a 3-mana, crew 1, flying. When it becomes crewed, for the first time each turn, until end of turn, Mind Link Mech becomes a copy of target non-legendary creature that crewed it this turn, except it's 4/3, it's a vehicle, artifact in addition to its other types, and it has flying. This... Genos. That's why this looks familiar to me. This reminded me of the Saitama Genos fight from Season 1 of One Punch Man. Yeah, that's what this reminds me of. This is dank art. Oh, of course it's dank art. It's by the dude who did a lot of the cool styles for Ikoria. A lot of those are pretty freaking dank, actually. Oh wow, what? I didn't know he did this. That's freaking sick, dude. Good art. Good art is good. Anyway, Mind Link Mech. I mean, the thing is, it's a cheap vehicle. It has evasion, and you can crew it with essentially anything, and you get to have it be a copy. Now, the thing, right, is first time it's crewed. So if you have a creature that you want to get attack triggers or combat damage to your opponent's face triggers, but they don't have evasion, you can use this pretty well. Non-legendary in a Legends sense, in a Legends matter set. Well, it has to be not. I guess theoretically, you could say become a copy of target creature, except its name is still Mind Link Mech. Like, you could do that, but the set is wordy enough as is, and I think it's fine that it's non-legendary. All right, hear me out. Right, you have the 2-mana dwarf lady, whose name I don't recall, but whenever a dwarf taps, you get a treasure. Right, you play her on turn 2. Turn 3, you play mech. Then you tap her, and then you find a way to tap the mech. I don't know. I find it funny. There's interesting things you can do with this. I don't know what they are, but I do just generally like the card. Touch the Spirit Realm. Touch Grass. 3 mana, enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target artifact or creature until it leaves the battlefield. Wow, it's an Oblivion Ring type thing, except with set mechanic. Discard this, exile target artifact or creature, returns to the battlefield under its only control at the beginning of the next end step. Now this is quite interesting. Like, this is worse, worse Oblivion Ring, right? Worse Cast Out, whatever. Banishing Light, I think that's the technical one. Yeah, it's worse version of that. But you have interesting play patterns here, right? You can choose, if you need to do this at instant speed, right? You can choose to just bounce something for a turn, right? If your opponent is on Paradox Engine combo or something that requires sorcery speed shenanigans, you can, on their upkeep or whatever, just exile the Paradox Engine for the turn, right? And then it comes back at their next end step. I guess technically it's at the beginning of the next end step. So you could also do something at the end step, and it'll come back during the next turn's end step. Hitting my mic and shit. But you can also just flicker your own creature to save it from something. So even though I don't think this card is actually strong, I do like the fact that it has things that you can do with it. I do love the versatility. Or combo with Containment Priest. Yeah, that's true. I mean, this technically you could combo with Containment Priest. You have Containment Priest, you exile something of theirs, and it doesn't come back. Well, it has to be a creature. The artifact would still come back. Okay, so Query says, for this, you Helm of the Host something, because they make non-legendary copies, and then you use that to crew this That way you can have a legendary copy, even though, like, at that point, you just have Helm of the Host, so, like, what's the point? Tawashi Guidebot. 4-mana 2/1 construct. Enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. It can be itself, which is cool. And then pay 4 mana, tap it, draw a card. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each modified creature you control. So, if you play this as a 4 mana free 2, you put the counter on itself. Then this costs... Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure it didn't say each other. Then this costs 3 to activate. 3 mana, tap, draw a card. That's, it's not Jam Day Tome. There's, you know, it's a 3 mana card. You can tap 3, draw a card. It's an artifact. I don't remember what it's called because it doesn't matter. It's not very good. But if you have another creature, you can put it on that, and then there's 2 mana, tap, draw a card, which is not as bad. The thing that's bad about this card is the fact that it's a creature. Because it means that it can die horribly, and it has summoning sickness, so you can't do it immediately. And therefore, I'm out. Thundering Raiju. Horrifying. We've got a good old-fashioned 4-mana 3/3 haste spirit. When it attacks, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, can it be itself. Then, Thundering Raiju deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of modified creature you control, other than Thundering Raiju. So, here we had a card that didn't mind if, like, it would count itself towards the modified. Here, we have a card that does care, and that's bullshit. Like, that sucks? Because, like, why? Is it too strong? Is it too strong to be a 4-mana, essentially 4/4 haste that pings your opponents? Like, you don't even get to choose to kill a creature, right? You can't even ping down a planeswalker. It's just 1. And then, look, next turn, if you still don't have a creature, sure, this becomes a 5/5, but it's still only the ping of 1. Why? It makes me sad. It's still possibly good. Trying to think if there is a sufficient amount of support in Historic for a deck that would use this, and I don't think that there is. Like, I feel like if I'm going wide, I'd rather use Hellrider, and Hellrider isn't played. I guess if I'm going wide, I'd probably be going token wide, and in which case I'd be using Heroic Reinforcements. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think this card is going to see play. I do like the card, don't get me wrong. I'm just bothered by that. But Roadside Reliquary. Normal. Tap Data Colors. Or 2, tap second. Draw a card if you control an artifact. Draw a card if you control an enchantment. So this is very interesting. This card is, like, never going to see play in Constructed, like, ever. I don't care what anyone tells me. But in EDH, especially in, you know, mono or 2-color EDH decks, this seems not terrible. If you look at a color like mono white, right? Mono white utilizes a lot of good artifacts and a lot of good enchantments. So I feel like relatively frequently you can just have this be, you know, pay 2 sack, draw 2 cards, and it's in your land spot. If you're playing mono white, you know, your mana, your colors of mana aren't going to be too much of an issue, especially since their Wizards have been printing a lot of ways to just get extra basic planes. So this card seems legitimately not bad. I'm not saying it's a staple in every single Commander deck, but if you are rocking, if you're rocking like mono white or maybe red has a lot of enchantments, not nearly as many as white, but you know, things like that, it'll work out for you. Gravelighter, 3-mana 2/2 spirit with flying. When it enters the battlefield, to draw a card if a creature died this turn. Otherwise, each player sacrifices a creature. So this is a new Plague Bearer type card. It's a new Merciless Executioner, a new Fleshbag Marauder, if you will. This is a card where essentially you can sack stuff. The thing here is that Fleshbag Marauder is bad toughness. Plague. I literally just named the card, and I've already forgotten. Whatever. The freaking one from like Ravnica or something. That card can force the loss of Planeswalkers, which is dope. This one, though, gives you the flexibility of drawing a card with it instead, and it has flying. Like, the evasion is not nothing, right? The Ravnica one is a 3/2, but it doesn't have an evasion, right? It can trade nicely. I'm not gonna take that from it. But this can hit your opponent in the face. It can also just draw cards. This is a black Windrake with versatile upside. And for that, great and limited. Aki Ronin. I do love the weird turtly goblins of Kamigawa. 3-mana, 1/3. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. I don't remember what exactly this type of draw is called. Because it's not Impulse. Impulse is like the exile things first. But you have to discard a card, right? It's not discard a card, draw a card. Literal Kappa. No, we have a literal Kappa in the set, don't we? Yeah, the Ninja Turtle. The Ninja Turtle's a literal Kappa. Regardless. I mean, it can kind of block okay. Obviously, it's a common, so it would be a limited card if it is a card. I don't know if it's very good, though. I don't play white-red very frequently in limited. I'm, like, all in on blue and white for flying. Looting is draw, discard, rummaging. Gotcha. Thank you. A Ganjo Exemplar is a 2-mana, 2/1 human samurai. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Would this card be broken if it gave a counter instead? I don't know, but I don't like this card. Named after... I knew about Merfolk Looter. I knew about Rummaging Goblin. I just didn't remember it was called Rummaging. Someone is, like, mowing outside or some shit, and it's very annoying. Dokuchi Silencer. Okay, I want to talk about this card real quick. It has nothing to do with the actual card itself. What, pray tell, the fuck is this? I understand that it's his tattoo. Why does this man's have a tattoo on his arm that looks like this? I'm very sorry for the buzzing outside. This is in my nightmares. I used to not have nightmares. But I do now. And this thing reminds me. This thing reminds me of the fucking demon from the first Insidious movie. You know, the one that was not terrible. It's horrifying. Look at his face. Look at his fucking face. Its eyes are like yellow and stuff. It's got a like weird beak mouth, but with teeth. It's got a little dingle on his head. I don't like this card. Oh sweet, someone drew my sleep paralysis demon and put it on a card? Yeah. This card is not okay. This art is not okay. David, you're sick in the head. Hello, Irish. We're recording a video. Now this card, or this art, is less awful. Because it's a snake. You know what makes sense to be a tattoo? A snake. You know what doesn't? A fucking sleep paralysis demon. Anyway. The silence, the frickin'... It's just in my ear. Anyway, the Silencer. 2-mana, 2/1, human ninja. Ninja 2 for 2. When you deal combat damage to a player, you may discard a creature card. When you do, destroy a target creature or planeswalker that player controls. This is cool. This is removal on a ninja. Do you know what's not cool about this card? The fact that we might be seeing blue-black rouges. We could be seeing some blue-black tempo with this card, and I don't want it. I don't want it. That deck already draws a bunch of different cards. It has evasion, really cheap evasion creatures, and they could just discard one of their excess lands that they've drawn and kill one of your things. I'm legitimately afraid of this card in Historic Constructed. Did I get more snow? No, I did not. Also, my air conditioning doesn't work for the third time. This is the third time that it doesn't work. It has been fixed twice, and it doesn't work. And I'm very annoyed because it's fucking hot in here. Anyway. Oh, they have to discard a creature. See, this is why I need chat. They have to discard a creature. Okay. Okay, that's a lot more fair. They have to discard a creature. And the tempo decks don't play as many creatures. Okay, never mind. This card's fine. Never mind. False alarm. Thank you, Irish. False alarm. I'm dumb. Reading the card explains the card. Invigorating Hot Springs. We got the cool monkeys. Yeah, you could discard the creature you ninjutsu to get them on the board. Because you that's after combat damage. So like you could theoretically I don't know why you would do this, because now you're playing Ornithopters. But you could play an Ornithopter on turn 1, I guess. Attack with this card, or attack with Ornithopter. It's probably not going to be blocked. You ninjutsu this out, deal damage, discard the Ornithopter. Bada bing, bada boom, you've killed your opponent's creature. Obviously, this is stupid because you probably want to kill something that is more valuable than that. But yes, you can do that. I guess another thing is, ooh, Rakdos Madness? Maybe we see this in some sort of weird Rakdos Madness deck. It's not just a lizard, right? Isn't there? There's another Madness creature that people play, or not? You know, I don't know. I don't play Madness. So anyway, Hot Springs enter the battlefield with 4 1/1 counters on it. Modified creatures you control have haste. Remove a 1/1 counter from Hot Spring. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Activate this only as a sorcery once each turn. This card is worse riot control, or riot. No. Worse thing. The 3-mana Gruul enchantment that just makes things uncounterable and then gives freaking haste or a +1 counter. This is just a worse version of that. Like 1000%. This is just a worse version of that. Like this card just feels bad. It works with 1/1 counters, sure, and your other modified creatures get to have haste, sure. But Rhythm of the Wild, thank you, is just like more generally better. Maybe I'm wrong, but this card seems bad. Rabbit Battery, weird. 1 mana, artifact creature, equipment rabbit has haste. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has haste. Reconfigure for a single red, and it's a 1/1. I mean, 1/1s for 1 with haste, totally fine. A really cheap equip cost to give something else haste. You know, play it somewhere. Now, this is a card I love. Ogre Head Helm, excuse me. Original art is just an ogre's helmet with weird legs. And I just love the visual. Ogre Head Helm, 2 mana, 2/2. Artifact, creature, equipment, ogre. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. When it or equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. If you do, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. So this card is not rummaging, because, well, it is technically rummaging, but you don't have to discard like 3 cards, right? You can have a hand of nothing, and you discard, and then you get it. But I mean, for what it's worth, I like this way better. This one, because it's just a head. Reconfigure for 3. You do have to sacrifice the thing, so like this is better as the equipment because then you can keep using it, but you don't need to. Like, you can just play this as a bear and then attack, deal some combat damage, and then eat it. Containment Construct, 2 mana, 2/1 for an artifact construct. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. If you do, you may play that card this turn. This gives your cards madness. Which is pretty sick. This gives your cards madness. But it's a 2 mana, 2/1. The issue is this does not actually give madness. I do want to couch that. This doesn't actually give madness because if you do end up exiling them, and then for some reason you can't play them, they stay exiled. So you want to make sure that you don't exile them wrongly. The thing is, you may exile them. You don't have to. As long just choose when to exile them properly. Just like think ahead. But is it 2 mana? Why is this $2? Why is this $2? Why is this pre-order for $2? This card is not that good. It's a 2 mana 2/1 artifact creature. Like, this dies to so many things. Again, don't get me wrong. I like the idea of giving all of your stuff madness. In any discard heavy brawl or commander deck, this card is fire. Play it. But elsewhere, it's a 2 mana 2/1. No. Unforgiving One. Oh, we got stabbed in the back. That makes sense. 3 mana 2/3 Spirit with Manache. Whenever Unforgiving One attacks, return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the number of modified creatures you control. This card... is the number of modified creatures you control. This card is interesting. Also, this is a jaw. It's the lower half of a jaw, so that's kind of creepy. Unforgiving one. It's a 3-mana 2/3 with menace. Like, that's not terrible. Equipment orders you control. Turn target creature. Actually, the number of modified creatures. So I'm fairly certain that equipment and aura decks, this is not good in. But encounters decks? Doesn't seem that bad. I'm thinking of my my Rayhan and Kelith deck. My Abzan +1/+1 counters EDH deck. And that deck consistently has, 4-ish. Like on average 4 or 5 creatures with +1 counters. You can easily give him +1 counters. He has menace, so you're not too afraid of attacking with him. And it just goes straight to the battlefield. I don't hate this card. I think this has potential in the right decks. Not in constructed, obviously. Seismic Wave, 3 mana, instant, deals 2 damage to each to any target, and 1 damage to each non-artifact creature target opponent controls. So you can hit your opponent in the face, you could hit your opponent's planeswalker, and then hit all of their target opponent. Oh, you can actually, if you have multiplayer, you can hit somebody, or you can kill one of their creatures or one of their planeswalkers, and then target someone else's board. That's kind of cool. Or you can kill like a 3 toughness creature, and then a bunch of X1s that aren't artifacts. It's a cool card. It's instant, has to be kind of. It's probably not super strong, but I like it. Springleaf Avenger. Since when did we have living insects on Kamigawa? I'm fine with it. I'm just confused. Because this could have been an Orochi or something. That would have been cool. Anyway, 5 mana, Insect Ninja, 6/5. Ninjutsu, 4. When it deals combat damage to a player, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So if one of your cool ninjas died, you can get the ninja back. Combo with that discard to kill ninja, I guess. Oh, this one? Or this one? Wait, shit, this one? You gotta tell me which card. Because there's a delay. Even though I wish there was no delay, there is a delay. I kind of just like this card. Because it's also just like a 5 mana 6/5 that can get things back. No, query, I meant which card combos with that Kill Ninja. Dragon Spark Reactor, 2 mana, artifact. When it enters the battlefield, or another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a charge counter on Dragon Spark Reactor. 4, sacrifice it. It deals damage equal to the number of charge counters on it to target player, and that much damage to up to 1 target creature. So this is interesting. This feels, This enters the battlefield, put a charge counter on it. This feels very similar to the red, or it's not, all of them are artifacts. What is the bust? It's not called Shrine, is it? No, it is. It's Shrine of Burning Rage. Yeah, this feels a little bit like Shrine of Burning Rage. But Shrine of Burning Rage constantly got buffed, like constantly on upkeep. Additionally, it works on whenever you cast a red spell, which I think is a little bit better than having to. Oh yeah, this is even on cast, right? The Shrine's on cast. This is not on cast artifact. That's on artifact enters the battlefield. And like you have to pay 4. Paying 4 is not too bad. Like this does hit 2 things, which is good. Like it hits a player and a creature. But like at the same time, it's artifacts, man. I don't know, this card feels bad. So you're talking about this one. The Springleaf Avenger, discard a card, you kill a target, then return the creature you discarded to your hand. Yeah, I mean that's true. Anyway, Explosive Singularity is a 10 mana sorcery. As additional cost to cast this spell, you may tap any number of untapped creatures you control. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature tapped this way. Explosive Singularity deals 10 damage to any target. This card is hilarious, and I'm fairly certain it's bad. Because you're tapping your creatures in order to help cast a only 10 mana burn spell, where this actually might work in a certain deck, where you have to red spells with Convoke, yeah. Where then, like, you're missing out on your attacks, right? Your red creatures are more likely to want to, you know, murder things. So I'm not sure. However, there is one legendary creature whose name I am trying to remember. Whatever. Advanced. It is legendary. It is white, blue, and red. I cannot for the life of me remember. It makes spirits who can cast red. Kaikar! It's Kaikar. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1. Sacrifice a spirit, add... So this is a mana ability. So I believe the way that... Because we went over casting, the timing of casting, I believe you calculate additional costs first, then you can activate mana abilities. Which means, I believe, if you have 4 spirits with Kaikar, you can cast this for only 2 red mana. So you have 4 spirits. You announce that you're casting the spell. As additional, you tap 4 spirits. So this is down to 6. And then you sack them. It's down to 2. You only cast it for 2 red mana. 2 land taps, right? So I think this card is good in exactly Kaikar. And then decks that are like green-red that just ramp and have a bunch of like spell doublers. Or maybe like Teamer, right? Some Teamer colored things. That's like it. Flame Discharge. X, red, instant. Deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If you controlled a modified creature as you cast a spell, it deals X plus 2 instead. So what this means, right? If you have a modified creature, you can just cast this for 1 and it's a shock. You can cast this for 2. And it's a lightning trick. For 3, it deals 5 damage. 4 damage. You know, so it scales very favorably with other cards like this, like Slaying Fire. Slaying Fire. 3 damage to any target. Deals 4 damage instead. The issue here is that this can't go face. And since it can't go face, it bad. Dockside Chef. Say single black human citizen. 1/2. Sack it. Or an artifact. Oh, wait. Oh, you don't have to sack it or an artifact? I thought it's a sack an artifact or this creature. Sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw a card. That's simple. You can do it as many times as you have mana and creatures or artifacts. But yeah, you don't even have to. You don't even have to tap this. That's a gear, right? Like noodles, sure. Tentacle, sure. Mushrooms, makes sense. This is a gear. That's a gear. That's an eyeball. Egg, pork, possibly more mushrooms, some greens here. Makes sense. Makes sense in some ramen. 2 gears and an eyeball. You know, I'll even let the eyeball be fine. You know, but the gears, I don't know if I'd be able to stomach that. I think that's a Ramun. I thought those were... Is that with the little pink swirly things? Ramun. Oh wait, that's a drink. No, we got like soy sauce here. Possibly sesame oil. I'm certain that's eyeball, and that's a gear. You cannot tell me that's not a gear. man. Anyway, weird cards are weird. Rizona Asari, Commander. 3 mana, 3/3 Human Samurai. Haste when, sure. Whenever Rizona deals combat damage to a player, if it doesn't have an indestructible counter on it, put an indestructible counter on it. Whenever combat damage is dealt to you, remove an indestructible counter from Rizona. So this is very interesting. Because this is a samurai, and the red-white samurai want you to attack with a single thing. When you attack with a single thing, what that means is the rest of your squad is back on defense. So what that means is, when this card gets an indestructible counter on it, you can keep attacking with just this card. And then you're getting all of the benefits from the rest of your squad being back, and since your squad is being back, you're less likely to be taking combat damage. And remember, this is just combat damage being dealt to you. You don't care about, you know, shocks or anything like that. That said, card is probably only good for Brawl. Blade Blizzard Kitsune. 3 mana 2/2 Fox Ninja with double strike. Wizards, the thing is, a white ninja, cool. Double strike, cool. The thing is, the reason ninjas are really awesome is usually they have cool abilities. This thing is just a 3 mana 2/2 with double strike. For what it's worth, 3 mana 2/2 with double strike is freaking great. If you can surprise it in, you can rebuy your ETBs in limited. Like this card in limited seems really fun. My thing is weird. You trying to imply something here? I don't know what that means. Your creature's challenging your opponents to a 1v1? Yeah. Look at me in my eyes and tell me that this is not freaking Death Stranding. I saw this and immediately I was like, this is horrifying Death Stranding shit right here. You got the weird desolate wasteland. You got floating humanoids. Obviously, like, this is made out of paper and it's dissolving into cranes. This is terrifying. Horrifying. Anyway, this is one of the best shrines from this cycle. Do you want to know why? Is one of the best shrines? What's up, Ribbon? Because it is a 2 mana 0/4. A lot of the other shrines in Neon Dynasty, a lot of the Goshen Ties, have relatively low toughness, which means they can fucking die. This is a 0/4, which means it's a lot less likely to die, and you're more likely to be able to block with it so that you don't die. And you can amass your shrines. Now, it also has flying, which means, again, it's even better at blocking. And you don't have to use this ability. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1 when you do target player mills X, or X the number of shrines you control. You don't have to. But what you can do is once you amass a certain number of shrines, then you can just dump your opponent's library, right? I think this is one of the best of the new shrine cycle in a shrine deck at keeping you alive and letting you get to the rest of your shrines. I think this card is great. And it's horrifying. Bronze Cudgels, 1 mana. Artifact equipment, equip for 1. Solid card for Big Butt Blue. I don't think so because it is a legendary creature. If it weren't legendary, I would agree with you. But the fact that it's legends makes me think that's not going to be great for Big Butt Blue. Pay this card's weird, man. 1 to cast, 1 to equip. Pay 2. Till end of turn, equip creature gets +X/+O, where X is the number of times this ability has resolved this turn. Not activated, resolved. So, let's say you've cast and equipped it, right? It's on a creature, you've paid 2 total mana. You pay 2 more mana, your creature gets +1. Then, you play 2 more mana, you've paid 6 total mana to get plus an additional 2. So you pay 6 mana to get +3 on a creature. You pay 2 more mana. You paid 8 mana to get +8. No. +6, sorry. +6/+O. Until end of turn. This card seems like a trap. In limited, if you're not even just limited, in specifically sealed, If you're looking for a mana sink, this is probably fine. Otherwise, I do not see the value in playing this card. Are all of the shrines always legendary? Yes, every shrine is legendary. Farewell. I'm going to say nothing about either of these arts. Anyway, 6 mana. Choose one or more. Or more. This is nuts. 6 mana. Exile all artifacts. Exile all creatures. Exile all enchantments. Exile all graveyards. Now here's the thing, right? My most played card in EDH, like across all my decks, I believe, is Austere Command. I'm pretty sure I have this in every single deck that I have that is white. I'm fairly certain every single white deck has this card. I get to choose 2. Destroy artifacts, destroy enchantments, or destroy summon creatures, some other creatures. Now the thing is, this doesn't do anything about exile. It can't deal with indestructible things. This says, ha ha ha, get effed on. Oh, you're playing with your graveyard? No. You're playing a deck that you care about stuff dying? No. This card is ridiculous. This is the new premier whiteboard wipe. The thing is, right, with Austere Command, if you have some artifacts, you have some enchantments, whatever, blah, 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 you can just choose to take a hit. You'll blow them up, maybe you'll be able to get them back later. With this, yes, they're gone. They're exiled. At the same time, if you need to use the exile all artifacts part, that means that your opponent has better artifacts than you. Which means the low cost of, oh no, I have to get rid of like 2 of my mana rocks to destroy... Well, Paradox Engine is legal in Commander, so I was trying to think of Commander things that are stupid. But you know, your dumb stuff. This gets rid of Blightsteel Colossus. They don't get to shuffle it back in and then search for it again with their stupid red creativity style cards. It's gone. It's just gone. This gets around indestructible. It kills the gods. Sure, they can go back to the command zone, but it gets rid of them at least. This card is schnasty. I love it. It is going into all of my white decks. No, don't get me wrong. Austere Command is not going anywhere in some of my decks. But in most of my decks, it's farewell. Also, Super Friends deck's new best friend. Oh, it is. It really, really is. Oh no! This is wrong. This is a crime. That's what the card is. It's a crime. I'm putting this straight into Chromat. Sheesh. Patchwork Automaton. 2 mana, 1/1, Ward Construct. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, put a 1/1 counter on Patchwork Automaton. This card's cool. Works with artifacts. It has counters. It's a 2 mana. It's a 2 mana 1/1 with Ward for your limited decks. You know, it's a bear that you can play. It's not technically a bear, but you know, it's a creature you can play early. I think it's totally fine. I'm definitely looking forward to putting this in Nevin roll. You're a bad man. Calming of Transients. I'm pretty sure we talked about this from here. But, you know, 2 mana, 2/2 trample Spirit. Also not an elk. Although, I guess this one... Well, this art makes it fine. This art, less so. But, whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a 1/1 counter on it. Beginning of each end step, if an enchantment was put into your graveyard from the battlefield this turn, you may return this from your graveyard to your hand. Very cool. Actually seems decent for a colorless deck. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it actually does. Because it comes down early. It gets big relatively quickly. It has ward, so it's difficult. Yeah, no, I think the Automaton is actually pretty good. A Ganjo, Seat of the Empire. Legendary land white. Channel, free. Discard Ganjo, Seat of the Empire. Deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. This card just seems kind of good. Because again, it's a land, right? If you're playing a mono white or white X creature deck, or sorry, brawler commander deck, This is kind of just like a free card. Because it can come in untapped. Alejandro is totally playable. Well, thanks. Now I have to call this Alejandro for the rest of my life. It's so good. It works. It works so well. Anyway, yeah, like, even if you're just paying full rate for it, it's still like surprise damage that, again, can't be countered except by a handful of cards. It seems solid. Jugen defends the temple. Jugen, the Rising Star, the dead green dragon. 3 mana. Chapter 1, create a 1/1 green human monk creature token with add 1 green. Chapter 2, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. And Chapter 3, transform the saga. Well, exile, then transform it. That actually does matter. Flying, 2/2. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay X, where when you do, put X 1/1 counters on that creature. As long as you control 5 or more modified creatures, a remnant gets +5/+5 and trample. Now, this card, notably, cannot help itself, which is sad, because it's whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control. That said, right, we've seen Wildwood, something, the elf man that whenever a non-human enters the battlefield, you can do the thing. Might be cute for limited, but nowhere else, I'd say. It does cost 3. If it didn't cost 3, I'd agree with you. I mean, I'm still going to try it in my Keleth and Rayhan counters deck. Because, like, in that deck, where you're already making your counters work more for you, like, this second is actually quite nice. This first one's also quite nice, because it just gives you another body, and you can ramp with it, which is quite good, because that deck is a little bit more streamlined. You have fewer lands in it, because it's a more aggressive style deck. And then, if you have excess mana, which you very well can, even just having X equals 1, for a lot of the time, when you're just casting creatures, your stuff's gonna, your creatures are going to likely have, 2 counters, 4 counters placed on them, because of the other counter buffs that you're playing. I mean, I'll try it there. Maybe this is fine in a counters deck for, Brawl, but the Long Reach of Night. I would like to know what happened to Moyajin of Night's Whisper, because she's not supposed to be dead, and she was incredibly powerful. Irish, what's standard? I don't know what that is. Anyway, chapter 1 and 2. Each opponent sacrifices a creature unless they discard a card. Exile the Saga, return to the battlefield, transformed. Menace, but it's a 0/4. Whenever it attacks, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in defending player's graveyard. This card is way too dependent on what your opponent is doing, and it costs 4 mana. So, for on turn 4, they just, like, discard a land. Turn 5, discard a land, sack a creature, who cares, right? Turn 6, the earliest you can get this down regularly, turn 6. Because it exiles, wait, pretty sure if they don't have creatures, they don't need to discard. I hope you're not correct, because that does make this card even fucking worse. But, since they exile to transform instead of just transforming, which is the stupidest thing ever, you have to wait until turn 7 in order to attack with this card to get, like, +2, +3, maybe +4. So you have maybe a 4 mana, a 4/4 with Menace on, like, turn 7. This card's bad. And the Moyajin of Night's Reach was the strongest of them. But no! Almost set. Look how they massacred my girl. Kumano faces Kazan. Yeah, Corey, you might be right, and that makes me sad. Commander faces Kakazan. I don't know what that is. Deals 1 damage to each. Chapter 1. Deals 1 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they control. It's your dragon's fault. Bolas did not kill her. Bolas. Look, I have the Future Sight novel somewhere. I read that ish. I thought it was awesome. Leshrac. Okay, just little random story rant. Leshrac thought that he had the Moijin of Night's Reach mask. However, his was a fake. Leshrac was fighting Bolas. Bolas pretended to be actually be getting hurt by Leshrac. Leshrac was chasing Bolas, who was withering away through different planes of the multiverse. And then Bolas led Leshrac back to the Talon Gates, where Bolas essentially started the stuff that would end up creating the time rifts and the mending, so that he could Uno reverse Leshrac, be like, hey bitch, guess what? I have the mask, the real mask, and by the way, as an Elder Dragon, I have a specialty, and my specialty is melting the minds of the people I touch. And he touched Leshrac, just crushing his mind, and then chucked him into the time rift to seal it. And then the Moijin of Night's Reach showed up, and she was like, can I have my mask back? And I think Bolas was like, nah. And I think she was like, okay, and she left. If I recall correctly, I could have gotten a few things wrong, but Bolas is great. My love of Bolas runs deep. Anyway, 1 mana. Oh, I didn't even say that was 1 mana. Deals 1 damage to each planeswalker they control. When you cast your next creature spell this turn, that creature enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. That is pretty decent. And then you return it. Oh, it has haste? Okay. If a creature dealt damage this turn by a source you controlled would die, exile instead. This card does seem pretty good. 1 mana. So for 1 mana, you hit some things.
Subscribed. Yo, absolutely love you in the D&D Avernus campaign.
Thanks very much, James. Unfortunately, the next episode I won't be in because my internet was out, but I do appreciate that. Anyway, yeah, turn 1, deal 1 damage. Turn 2, you make your 2-drop stronger. Turn 3, you get a 2/2 with haste. That you can also, this actually seems pretty good. Invoke the Ancients. 1 quad green. Create 2 4/5s. For each of them, put your choice of a Vigilance counter, a Reach counter, or a Trample counter on it. So you could get, for each of them, put your choice of... So I think you could get double Vigilance, double Reach, double Trample, or any combination therein. And it works with, like, creature token doublers. So this is only 5 mana. So what you could do is you could Parallel Lives on turn 4. Turn 5, play this. Have 4 4/5s? Seems lit to me. Seems lit to me, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm gonna try it. Like turn 1. Turn 1, I'm not sure. Turn 2, like, what is the name of that stupid card? It's the one that can't be targeted. Whatever, Hexproof Elf. You all know what I'm talking about. Turn 3, you play Parallel Lives. Turn 4, you play this, and you laugh at your opponent. And then your opponent casts Wrath of God, and not Damnation, because obviously, Damnation, too strong. March of Swirling Mists, X and blue. This is the blue version of the March Sickle. As additional cost to cast this, exile a number of blue cards, blah blah blah, cost you less. Up to X target creatures phase out. It's interesting, at least. I think it has the most interesting ability of all of them. I am also like super glad that Wizards has made phasing deciduous. Then your opponent casts Farewell and eats your soul. Yep. But I'm very happy that that Wizards is using phasing more. This is cool just because like you can protect your own creatures, right? To phase them out. You can phase out your opponent's stuff so you don't die, right? So there are. I'm happy that this card is the way it is. I still think that the March cycle should have let you discard basic lands of the correct color type, but whatever. Colossal Sky Turtle. This is hilarious. And it reminds me of... It's not Sky Swallower. Is it Sky Swallower? No, it's not called Sky Swallower. It's a Simic card. It is blue-green. And it has... What is... not date stamp? What are those things called? What's the thing that I'm looking for? I don't remember what it was called. Watermark. Dumbass. Salt Zeppelin is not it, but I think that's one of the things that I was thinking about. But no, it's where big thing that just dumb and big. Where's the dumb big thing? There it is. Simic Sky. I could have just typed in Sky Swallower. Yeah, Simic Sky Swallower. I don't know why. It just reminds me of that. Just big dumb blue-green thing. Flying Triple Shroud for 7 mana 6/6. And now we got frickin' 7 mana 6/5 Flying Ward 2 channel. I do like these channels though. For green channel, you can return a creature, a card from your graveyard to your hand. So essentially, you get a Regrowth style effect. Yeah, pretty cool. And then for the blue, you get to return a creature to its owner's hand. This card is really fun. It can be a late game beat stick in a limited deck, or you can use its other abilities to get back stuff that you need. I think this card is freaking sick. It got dumpstered in 2 turns. Nice. And then we go to some lands. I'm just going to look through these real quick, real nice. Very pretty. I love the Blossoming Sands. I love the futurist Zen Garden aesthetic. Horrifying. Excuse me. Oh, there's another monkey. Another monkey family. Just hanging out. I will say, I do like when they reprint this set of duels, because you really get to see the art of the set. You know, Uncharted Haven is a land, enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, choose a color. Add 1 mana of the chosen color. So here, what's interesting is that this is just a better version of Gateway Plaza style cards. Right. This enters tapped. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. I forgot. This is choose. You have to choose a color. Never mind. I'm stupid. This is a thing that exists. It's common. It's common fixing though. I love how if these lands were rare, they'd entered untap, or be able to at least. I don't think that's true. They would be too weak at rare. If they were just able to. I love how if these were rare, they'd enter untapped or be able to. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I was confused. Uncharted Haven is a common, which is very cool. Thundersteel Colossus, 7 mana, 7/7 trample haste vehicle with crew 2. It does cost 7 mana though. And for that, I'm out. Cost too much. Shrine Sword, 5 mana, 3/2 construct. Creepy. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an aura or shrine card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. It does cost 5 mana. It does cost 5 mana. Except, it can get you a shrine. So, maybe it's fine in a shrine EDH deck. So now with shrine EDH, right? You've got the 1, you've got the commander, so that's 2. Then you have 3 cycles of 10, so it's 15, so that's 17 total shrines. So you're going to need some things to get your shrines. The big dumb vehicle to cheat out. We have a blue card that just cheats out a vehicle. Yes, this would be it then. Searchlight Companion, 3 mana 1/1 drone. I kind of wish this was a Thopter. I can understand why it isn't, but flying when it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. This card again is probably pretty decent and limited. Like, it is essentially 3 mana for a 2/2, but it can be in any color. That's why it's a little bit weaker. One part of it has flying, which is pretty cool, especially in a set where you care about modifications, right? Papercraft Decoy. This is a Frog. It's a little paper frog. 2 mana 2/1 frog. When it leaves the battlefield, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. This flavor text is quite funny. Ninja's Kunai. 1 mana to cast, 1 mana to equip. Equip creature has 1 mana, tap, sack the Kunai, deal 3 damage to any target. This card seems sucky. It gives no boost. It's just a throwable equipment. I don't know if has any throwable equipment ever been good. I guess technically, Sunforger is throwable. Sunforger. Like, technically Sunforger is throwable, but it also comes with a +4/+0 boon, right? When I say by the way, when I say throwable equipment, I just mean something that has to either unequip or be sacrificed from and use the creature. This card seems bad. Rocks. Well, those are tokens, right? Like, it doesn't cost you a card for rocks. It also unattached, not destroys. Yeah. So my thing is, this card would be cooler, in my opinion, if you just gave control of the kunai to the other player, or not even necessarily to that player, just to another player. I just think it'd be very funny. Network Terminal. They have freaking kiosks. They have information kiosks. It's great. It's freaking great. 3 mana, artifact, tap, add 1 mana bending color. This is just 3 mana rainbow artifact with set mechanic. 1 tap another untapped artifact you control, draw a card, then discard a card. This one technically not set mechanic, but this set does care about a decent number of has a decent number of artifacts, so we'll take it. Iron Apprentice. It's a hand. It's a little iron hand. It's so cute. Also, this is not Iron Apprentice. This is Reggie Iron. As soon as I saw this, I was like, "This is a Reggie, sir. Excuse me. This is actually a Reggie. Reggie Fils-Aimé. Let's do. There we go. Let's get some of this for YouTube. Anyway, 1 mana. Artifact Construct is 0/0, comes in with 1/1 counter. When it dies, if it had counters, put those counters on target creature you control. Very good. It works, well, not very good, but, you know, works fun with Ozolith. This is kind of modular. Or is exact modular? I fat-fingered it. When it's put... No, this is when it's put in the graveyard. Is this when it leaves? Okay, it is dies. Although this only can go on artifact creatures, so this is modular plus. Yeah, this is modular plus. It's cute. Ecologist's Terrarium. 2 mana, artifact, enters the battlefield. You may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it and put it in your hand. Sure, whatever. Pay 2, tap, sack it. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Activate this only to sorcery. This card seemed like bleh. I'm probably going to not talk all that much about the commons from now on, because they're commons and they don't do much. Eater of Virtue. 1 mana legendary artifact equipment. When equipped creature dies, exile it. equipped creature gets +2/+0. As long as a card exiled with either of virtue has flying, equipped creature has flying. The same is true for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Protection, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. Equip 1. I'm assuming that this isn't just generic protection and generic hexproof. I assume that it works with protection from red, but do not take my word for it. I could very, very well be wrong. That's it. It's literally a 1 mana, like, it's a 1 mana 1 to equip artifact. Like, it does exile the creature, but it is just 1 mana 1 to equip +2/+0. Like, that doesn't seem that bad. Especially like in, like, if I think this card is first pickable in draft. I really do. Like, how frequently are you going to need your creatures in your graveyard versus the extent to which you can just get random value from this, right? And it's 1 to cast, 1 to equip for +2 power. This seems good. Dramatists, puppet. 4 mana artifact creature construct. For a 2/4, when it enters the battlefield, for each kind of counter on target permanent, put another counter of that kind on it or remove 1 from it. So, if you have a creature with a charge counter and a +1/+1 counter, you can put another counter of that kind. Yeah, so you could buff it by 1 each or remove 1 each. Super proliferate. For each kind of counter. Oh, right, because they changed the proliferate rules, didn't they? They made it so proliferate only cares about 1 type of counter? And I'm pretty sure that's not how it used to be. Automated Artificer. Artificer. I do like that a lot of the... oh, it can also remove. Gotcha. I do like that a lot of the machinery on Kamigawa is based on origami, because that makes it feel a little bit more fantastical. Right, it makes it less legitimate technology. Not legitimate, but like it makes it seem less real world technology, and still makes it a little bit magical. Anyway, 2 mana 1/3 tap, add colorless, spend this mana to activate an ability or cast an artifact spell. Now, the way this is worded, I do believe it means that you can activate any ability with this, not just artifact abilities, but you can only use it to cast artifact spells. So yeah, fine. Tamio Safekeeping, it's a miniature heroic intervention, which is cool. It gets indestructible, you can gain 2 life, which is nice. Gain hexproof as well, sorry. If you are in a situation where you just need to protect a single creature, seems good. Season of Renewal, 3 mana instant, choose 1 or both, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, return target enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. If you're playing a deck that cares about both of those card types, this is an instant that can get both back. This essentially is a targeted divination. It good. Like, in limited, as long as you have cards. I'm just now realizing something about this card's art. Face. I saw this face. Right, don't get me wrong. Face. Gotcha. Other face. Sure. It's a weird spirit. Then the faces just get meltier. I did not realize that these were also faces. Faces. And they're melty. Moving on. Master's Rebuke. 2 mana. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Have we had just a green instant version of this? We might have. But it's a green instant version of this. It's not bad. Zhukai Preserver is a 4 mana enchant creature human druid for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, including itself. You can make it a 4 mana 4/4, which is totally fine. Channel 3, discard it. Put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. Again, this card just gives you options of versatility. It's a common card. Seems good. And limited. Harmonious Emergence, 4 mana enchant aura. Enchant land you control. Enchant land is a 4/5 green spirit creature with vigilance and haste. It still lands. If the land would be destroyed, instead, sacrifice this, and that land gains indestructible until end of turn. This card is a cool way of having your cake and eating it too. one of the issues with auras is that when you target the creature that you plan on putting the aura on, it can die in response. That is less likely to happen to a land that you control. Additionally, it's totem armor. Oh, you're calling it spirit armor because... I'm trash. Let's move on. But you also get to... if the land would be destroyed, you don't lose out on the land, right? It's becoming a creature. It can die to things that kill creatures, but you get the benefit of just losing the aura. So I actually really like this card, and I kind of want to see more of it. No, I just forgot the name. Well, I shouldn't have said anything. Grafted Growth. Hey, look, it's Paradise. I don't remember the name of the damn card, but like Dominic Cat card. Shut up. It's that with set mechanic. Enchant land, when it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. Add 2 mana of any one color. We have seen this before. For what it's worth, I'm talking like this as if it were flippant. Lord Slima, remind me after I'm done recording. I talk kind of flippantly, not flippantly, but I speak very fast about these as if like to dismiss them. Get to Paradise, thank you. But I actually really like card with set mechanic. Because it gives options for that type of card, right? I've played Gift of Paradise in decks, specifically in Muldrotha, because it's a way to, it gives me an extra enchantment for something that I need, and it's a recurable way to gain life in that deck, because enchantments were relatively difficult for me to actively use in a way where I can get them back again and again. And what I did in Muldrotha is I was able to play in Evolving Wilds, put the Paradise on the Evolving Wilds, gain the 3 life, sack it, then I could replay the Evolving Wilds and the Growth. So I do like card with set mechanic. Favor of Zhukai, 4 mana, enchantment aura, enchant artifact or creature. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, gets +3/+3 and has reach, or you can channel this to essentially do that as a combat trick for only 2 mana. Very cool. It's literally combat trick or thing. It's either enchantment, which honestly, I feel like this is almost always just going to be the combat trick, right? Like in I guess if your opponent's like tapped out, you could put this on one of your things. But this just seems real good as just like a haha, got you. And it can't be countered. It's cool. Fade into Antiquity. It's artifact enchantment removal. It's not very good, but you know. Commune with Spirits. I thought this was a reprint. I must be thinking of Commune with something else. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an enchantment or land card from among them and put them into your hand. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I don't know. That's my thoughts. Careful Cultivation. Fantastic art. 3 mana. Enchant artifact creature. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +1/+3 and has reach. And add green. Or you can discard it. Create a human with add green. A 1/1 human with add green. Again, I really like this. If we started to see channel on enchantments, like on creature auras specifically, I would really like to see that going forward, because enchant creatures have inherent issues, right? They're very difficult to use in a lot of circumstances because of the 2-for-1 potential. But when you have options of just yeeting the card to make a human instead, it's not as feel bad to have it in your hand. Also, like if you have the auras, right? Sometimes you might not have a creature to put it on. This can make a creature to put things on. I like it. Shut up. Bear of Memory, 3 mana, 3/2, enchantment creature, human monk. 6 mana, put a 1/1 counter on target enchantment creature. It gains trample until end of turn. The thing is, oh man, channel does also work really well with Muldrotha to an extent. It works well with her. I wouldn't say really well, because when you cast the thing, you can't channel it again. You channel and then you can play it. But yes, she's okay stats, and Very expensive, but still a mana sink for limited is fine. She's not a very high pick, but Voltage Surge. 1 mana instant. As an additional cost to cast this, you may sack an artifact. Deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If the spell additional cost was paid, deals 4 damage instead.
Subscribed.
Lord Slima, thanks you for the 4 months with Twitch Prime. I really appreciate it. This card is bad because it cannot go face. Me want to go face. Tawashi Songshaper, 2 mana 2/2 for a human artificer. When another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, Tawashi Songshaper gets +1/+0 until end of turn. A lot of people are mad at this that this is a DJ. What I say to them is, fucking who cares? There's mechs in this set. You know what? No. We're gonna rant for a second. All right. Fucking, I'm sick of people bitching and complaining about the Fortnite Secret Lairs and the fucking Warhammer 40k commander sets. I've seen motherfuckers over here with goddamn tokens that are that was spooky. With tokens that are like friggin' chibi anime girls with modified freaking you see and again I'm fine with this, but you see freaking altar sleeves. Altar sleeves are altering what the card looks like at a glance. For people who are like, it doesn't feel like Magic. Magic used to have guns. Like in older, more basal sets, Magic had freaking guns, and they stopped doing that, and they came back to doing it. You saw you saw some pirates with guns in freaking Ixalan, and no one batted a fucking eye. Do you know why? Because Magic can be whatever the hell it wants. If Magic the Gathering has a fucking cowboy set, which there have been people who wanted Magic with a cowboy set, they're going to be guns. They're going to be horses and freaking saloons, right? You're going to see stuff like that in a set. The idea of playing, right? Let's say the idea of having dissonance between playing Karn the Silver Golem and Tawashi Songshaper alongside, new sheriff in town. I don't fucking know. Like, shut up. We had cars in college. Yeah, like we had a literal police car in Kaladesh. The people. Now, obviously, there could be people who legitimately don't like any of the stuff I'm talking about, right? Maybe they hated Kaladesh. Maybe they hate vehicles in Magic. I think vehicles are really cool. I think they implemented them perfectly, honestly. Maybe they just hate everything. Maybe they hated the D&D crossover, even though Wizard of the Coast owns Magic the Gathering and D&D. And fun fact, D&D and Magic the Gathering have very similar basic universes. It's magical stuff. It's so stupid, right? It's like, it's not going to be weird to see Gimli on a card. It's not. He's a dwarf. You could just give it any other name. Like, who cares? But Space Marines have big mech armor. And you're saying that the Urza Saga mechs weren't a thing? Fucking some people. This is what pisses me off the most, dude. This is what pisses me off the most. Is that these same motherfuckers that are talking about this forget that there were actual mechs in I want to say Urza Saga, advanced. We're doing this thing, all right? Typeline. It's an artifact. It's an artifact. It is from Let's fucking see. Let's see some fucking mechs here. I know there were mechs, man. I remember freaking mechs, dude. Big siege vehicle thing, actual cannon, big mech thing. Where are the mechs? Big, not technically a mech, but still. Oh, was it not Urza's? I thought it was Urza's. Where, chat? Someone who's older than me. Where's the mechs? There's a big freaking mech. I don't remember what it's called. It's not in Urza's. Is it in Judgment? Or Invasion? It might be an Invasion? Is it an Invasion? I do not remember where it is, but I do remember mechs. They're genetically ultified things. This is a golem. I'm not going to count this. I know it looks like Iron Man, but I'm not going to actually count it. Power armor. There it is. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Formidable weaponry. Literally, fucking power armor, made by Urza. Big freaking things. Miss me with that shit, man. Magic the Gathering is not a single world. Magic the Gathering is a system that has general rules and foundations. It would be weird. Like, don't get me wrong. It would be weird to see Tawashi Songshaper on Innistrad. But you know what would also be very weird? If we saw a graph, not a graph, sorry, a stitched zombie, whose name I can't remember right now. They have an actual thing, but a stitched zombie on Ravnica. Like, that would be weird. Those don't on Ravnica, right? It would be weird to see an Ixalan vampire on Innistrad. It'd be fucking weird. But they're within their own worlds, and yet they're no issue playing with freaking giant monsters from Ikoria. Not even counting Godzilla. Giant monsters from Ikoria alongside werewolves. Like, the original Innistrad is one of the most beloved sets. One of the most beloved sets. And it has a ton of horror movie tropes. I think this card's fine. Scrapyard Steelbreaker. 4 mana, 3/4. Sacrifice another artifact. Gets +2/+1. Is limited. I don't care. This card, reprint. Don't care. Kami's Flare. 3 damage to target creature. Planeswalker. Deals 2 damage to the controller if you control a modified creature. You know, it's actually probably not too bad. Ironhoof Boar. 7 mana, or 6 mana, sorry. It has trample and haste, or you can discard it. This card is, again, almost always going to be used as the channel in limited. Gift of Wrath. And as the battle leaves the battle, you get a thing. It gets Menace. I mean, Magic has a ton of wizards. Doesn't mean that seeing Gandalf on a Magic set wouldn't be weird and, in my opinion, not good. Why? If I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that you would not like to see Gandalf on a Magic card. Why? How is Gandalf fundamentally any different than any other legendary wizard? Honestly. Other than the fact that Gandalf has shown up in a different property. Other than the fact that Gandalf is a named character from somewhere else. Who cares? Right? Because my thinking, right? Because I'm not fond of crossover, simple as that. So what if the thing is, right? In a weird world, someone may not know that Lord of the Rings is a thing that exists. It's unlikely, but it's possible. In their eyes, that Legend of the Ring crossover is not a crossover. Lord of the Rings, not Legend of the Rings. That crossover is not a crossover. It's just Wizards printing a legendary creature called Gandalf. There could theoretically be properties that Wizards works with that people don't know about. Obviously if they didn't announce that there were crossovers. And people would technically be none the wiser. That's my issue. Is that other than the fact that they're already its own property, a crossover is not a crossover if someone doesn't know the other property. I think that's my fundamental dislike of that stance, but we don't have to talk about it anymore. Explosive Fury. Destroy up to 1 artifact, put a counter, trash. Experimental Synthesizer, enters the leaves, items top card of your library until entering, you may play that card. Sack it, create a 2/2, activate only as a sorcery. That card seems very weird. That card seems very, very weird. Crackling Emergence, 2 mana. Enchant land, you get 3/3. It's cheaper. I mean, it's cheaper than the green one, but I do feel like the green one's better. Ambitious Assault, 3 mana instance. This art is fantastic by Wayne. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. If you control a modified creature, draw a card. Seems not terrible. Again, just like normal combat trick, like 3 mana for this type of effect is pretty decent. Virus Beetle, 2 mana. Whenever it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. You'll like to see it. You'll like to see the 2 mana discard with something attached. Undercity Scrounger, 3 mana Human Rouge. It's a 1/4. Tap, create a treasure token, activate only if a creature died this turn. Not terribly great. Reckoner's Shakedown, 3 mana. Sorcery, target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do that, player discards that card. If you don't, put 2 1/1 counters on a creature or vehicle you control. This card is not good. It's 3 mana for 1 discard? Yeah, this isn't even like Mind Rot Plus. This is Mind Rot minus. This card's terrible. Twisted Embrace, 2 mana, enchant aura, enchant artifact creature control. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature or planeswalker and opponent controls. As long as enchanted permanent is holy shit. Why are you so loud? Okay, I've made a mistake. Too loud. Anyway, this card is interesting because if it is able to resolve, you get to kill an artifact or a creature or planeswalker, which is funny. Is it good? I don't know, but it seems strong. The premium black common, possibly like this does like in limited. As long as like you play this in a good timing, where like your opponent doesn't have the ability to kill it, it's real dumb strong. Return to action. It's you if something would die instead, or when it does, you don't. It's fine. Reckoner's Bargain, 2 mana as additional cost to cast this. Sacrifice an artifact or creature. You gain life equal to the sacrifice permanent's value, and draw 2 cards. I do like this. Sacrifice an artifact or creature. You draw 2 cards. You gain some life. Seems good. Kami of Terrible Secrets, 4 mana, 3/4. If you control an artifact and an enchantment, you draw a card and you gain 1 life. A limited card, maybe. Kami of Restless Shadows, 5 mana, 3. Return target ninja or rogue. Ah, okay, so if you have a ninja or rogue, you can put it in your hand. Otherwise, you can put it on top of your library. So this card seems not great, even in limited. Kaito's Pursuit, 3 mana, target player discards 2 cards. Ninjas and rogues you control gain menace until end of turn. This is substantially better. This is Mind Rot Plus right here, baby. Debt to the Kami, 3 mana, choose 1. Target opponent exiles a creature they control, or target opponent exiles an enchantment they control. Who is emailing me? Fuck off. Hey, look! It's instant speed and share removal, in black. Except you don't get to choose the enchantment. Clawing Torment, 1 mana, aura. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets -1/-1 and can't block. Enchant permanent has, at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life. Virika's Libation, but better, yeah. I mean, it's no -2, no -2/-2, but it does make it so they can't block. And you can also just put it on an artifact to just make them hurt every turn. I do like it. I don't think it's good enough, but I do like it. Chain Flail Centipede, 3 mana, 2/2, equipment insect. When it or the equipped creature attacks, you get +2/+0 until end of turn, and reconfigure for 2. Artifact lines exist. Yeah, that's true. Suit Up for 3 until end of turn. Target creature or vehicle becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 4/5. Draw a card. Again, this kind of skirts around. This skirts around your big cost vehicle costs. You know, your crew costs, and you get it cycles itself, right? Like you get to draw a card. This card seems really good in a brawl or commander deck that uses those things. Skysummer Koi, big wait, it's not a spirit fish? It's just a fish. It's just a fish. Okay. 4 mana, 3/3, flying fish. Whenever an artifact enters a battlefield under your control, you may draw a card, and if you do, discard a card. I mean, 4 mana, 3/3 flyer that's easy to splash seems good and limited, baby. Short Circuit. 2 mana, flash, enchant artifact a creature. As long as enchantment permanent is a creature, it gets -3/-0 and loses flying. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, good limited pseudo removal. Planar Incision. I do not know what's happening in this art. Yeah. 2 mana, exile target artifact or creature, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. This is just like the blue version of a white card from OG Kamigawa, I think. Otherworldly Journey? Yo, why am I so good? Except this is at the beginning of the next end step. This is immediate. And this can hit artifacts. So this is, I guess, a better version. I mean, they're different. Moonfolk Puzzle Maker. 3 mana, artifact creature, Moonfolk Wizard, 1/4, flying. Whenever Moonfolk Puzzle Maker becomes tapped, scry 1. So she can crew a vehicle, and you get to scry from it. Pretty cool. Mnemonic Sphere, 2 mana, pay 2 to sacrifice it, draw 2 cards, channel, pay a blue, discard it, draw a card. So for 1 mana, it essentially, it like legitimately has cycling, right? This is 1 mana cycling. Essence Flux only works for spirits and has to be a creature that you control. Incision can be any artifact or creature. I do like the Sphere because you can. It's 4 mana delayed draw card. So like we've seen 4 mana draw 2 cards, but this has options. Mirror Shell Crab, 7 mana 5/7 with Ward 3, or you can channel it, discard it, counter a spell or ability unless its controller pays 3. This is an uncounterable counterspell. Just think about that for a second. They can pay 3, but this technically is an uncounterable counterspell, which is funny. Again, Teferi's Time Twist only works with permanents you control. Futurist Sentinel, 4 mana 6/6 crew 3. It's not bad. As a common limited vehicle. Disruption Protocol. Blue, instant, counter target spell. That's just counterspell. Oh wait, there's more. As additional cost to cast a spell, tap an untapped artifact you control or pay 1. This is not true counterspell, but it is cancel with upside. And the thing is, right, if you're running main deck Grafdigger's Cage, other artifacts that you might control in a blue X control deck, right, it's not that bad. It is a harder counter than Metallic Rebuke. However, Metallic Rebuke can only cost a single blue if you want. But if you're looking for hard counters and you can justify the double blue, because Metallic Rebuke only is a single blue pip, then this card, jeez. Wanderer's Intervention deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. We've seen this type of thing before, and it's fine. Repel the Vile. You know what? I think in order to make these cards good, because you've seen the cards that are like destroy target tapped creature. Right. White can do that. But those are generally sorcery speed. How about we have Wanderer's Intervention? Deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature or tapped creature. You might be saying, oh, that's just an attacking creature. No, because they could have used their ability, right? Repel the Vile. 4 mana, instant, choose 1. Exile target creature with power 4 or greater, or exile target enchantment. This is like a better version of Monstrous Smite? Smite the Monstrous, I think. Regent's Authority. 1 mana instant, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's an enchantment creature or legendary creature, instead put a 1/1 counter on it, and it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I do wish this was you get a counter, but you still get the whole +2/+2. Maybe it would be too good, but. And then lastly, oh, that's not true. Some of them didn't fit. Mothra Patrol, 1 mana 1/1 Fox Warrior. Excuse me, Fox Warrior with flying, and then 4 mana to tap target creature. I actually think this card is not too terrible and limited because early on, I just realized that this is not a samurai. It's just a warrior, which feels weird. Also, it's patrol, so wouldn't this make more sense as a scout? Regardless, this card seems fine and limited because, like, early on, it's a cheap flyer, but you can also use it as a mana sink to tap things. Seems possibly fine. And then we have... Shoot, how am I going to do this? There we go. Imperial Recovery Unit, 3 mana, artifact vehicle, a 3/4. Whenever it attacks, return target creature vehicle card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand, crew 2. This card seems stupid good. It seems so very stupid good. It only goes to your hand, but at the same time, it just seems good. Is 3 mana 2 3/4. So like you play a bear on turn 2. Then you play this on turn 3, and you can just like be fine. It's a fox. Wouldn't it make more sense as a Canidae? Look, it would be better as a dog, but we're not doing the rant right now. Good card is good. Imperial Oath, 6 mana. Create 3 2/2 white samurai creature tokens with vigilance. Then scry 3. Look, this card costs 6 mana. You do get 6/6 worth of stats, and you scry 3. But man, I do not like paying 6 mana for this. Golden Tailed Disciple, a 3 mana 2/3 fox monk with lifelink. There's nothing special about this card. It's an enchantment, I guess. And then last but not least now is Dragonfly Suit. 3 mana, 3/2, flying, crew 1 vehicle. Again, seems decent. I need to get a drink. Anyway, I'd like to thank my lovely patrons for the continued support. If you'd like to join them supporting the show, you'll find links in the description down below. Do, of course, hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, all be one.